right? What are some things that you know? What are some things that you said or that you know? Anybody? Volunteers?
ELC testing is coming from the state course code.
Perfect. Thank you, Terry. Terry from Mesa said the EOC data for testing materials is coming from STC. Beautiful. That's exactly right. What else? Is that all? That's the main gist, right? Okay, we're done. Okay, so I don't know, when I was asked to do this topic, STC is the solution for AZ merit testing materials for the EOCs, just as Terry said. But that's the IT solution, right? Really the program and whatnot as far as assessment is really coming from the assessment department at ADE. So when I got Heidi's, you know, this is what we would like you to talk about, I kind of panicked. I was like, ugh. So I'm gearing what I'm gonna, you know, share with you today from an IT STC perspective, because you guys are the folks that do this awesome work. More program-related questions, I will do my best, but I've already worked with Irene Hunting, who is the DAS for assessment, and I will collect any questions that I'm just not sure of, because I certainly don't want to give you any information about the assessment itself that would be incorrect or lead you down a direction that, you know, I have no business answering because I don't know, right? So I do have a quick overview. Obviously, you know, AZ Merit is the new state assessment. The last administration for AIMS was last, spring, yes, for reading, writing, and math, and it aligns to the new Common Core standards that were adopted back in 2010. It's really more about, you still have the grade level assessment, like what you would have for AIMS in the 3-8. So it's a grade level AZ merit test. But then any kiddo, no matter even if they're in 6th grade, taking an EOC course, the Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, the ELA 9, 10, 11, if you have any of those kiddos, you should map your courses to those high school course codes, right? So you know your course codes now, right? So the elementaries are the 51s through the, I forgot, but whatever. And the high schools are the 01s, right? And the 02s. So if you have a kiddo that's 6th grade in an honors course, he's going to take the 6th grade AZ Merit grade level test. And if he's taking Algebra 1, he's going to take that Algebra 1 end of course assessment as well. So he'll take 2, right? So that EOC course code has to be the AZ01001, let's just say, if it's ELA 9. Make sense? Right? So basically, that's how that works. Just to let you know, still in place, kiddos that are graduating after December 31st, 2016 will not be required to pass the AIMS to graduate, and the science standards didn't change, so the kiddos are still taking the science. And that's coming from however you did the AIMS uploading, material ordering process that you have. I'm not familiar with that, I apologize, on how you get those labels. But you know, don't you? If you don't, I'll get that answer for you.
The labels have already been extracted.
Oh, that's right. We knew that, didn't we, Patty? You taught me that. Thank you, Patty. So I just said this. So, and then the bottom here is the middle school students enrolled, or even the elementary kiddos that was that example that I was just saying. If he's a 6th grade student taking the Algebra 1 or whatnot, he's going to take the 6th grade AZ Merit test plus perhaps the EOC.
Middle school state codes should be the high school one?
Yes. Yeah, if they're deemed necessary to take the EOC course. Yeah, well, no, you don't have to reach certified for your pay. Yeah. Hang on. I'll get you there. Hang on. Here's some information about the testing administration, the EOC tests. It's computer-based or paper-based. It's moving toward computer-based. There's the windows. And from what I understand, the district test coordinators, your folks in the districts, are being communicated with every Friday from the assessment department. So any questions about like just the overview of the test itself? All right, so how do these two work together, STC? STC data is the only source in the entire data collection that we ask for you, all those multiple times that we lovingly ask you for data. That includes course data that we can be used for EOC testing materials. We figured, you know what, you already are submitting this information, and so in the spirit of trying to not ask you for more collections of data, let's just capitalize on what you already are submitting and pull that data as a service to you to upload into the TIDE system, which is the verification where your district test coordinators go in and they view, okay, here's the test, here's the courses, here's the kiddos, and this is what the materials I'm going to get back. Does that make sense? So we're pulling from the SRM database, which is what you log into to upload STC, and we're going to take that data. In fact, we just did one, didn't we?
Yes.
That was a crazy day at the office, I tell you. Wasn't it, Susie?
Yes, it was.
Yes. So we don't want to, we don't want to ask you for another one, but here's the next pull. So initially what we did was, we said that it was 100th day, but they did a, I think they had a bit of an oversight. As Mark says, we do make mistakes. So that January 15th pull, so whatever was in SRM database at 5 p.m., we pulled we had told you 100, but we actually pulled 40. Yeah, and I don't think, I was unaware, and I don't think they realized that. But what they did was they pulled 40 day, whatever was in SRM at that time, 5 p.m. January 15th, we pulled that, put it into the TIDE system, and then your test coordinators could go into the TIDE system on January 28th and verify. If any changes needed to happen, they should have come back to you and said, hey, we probably need to change some course codes, we probably need to change some enrollments, move some things around, whatever, to make sure that we have these materials. Once that was done, perhaps you made any changes, whatever, the next one that we did was just this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Your district, whatever was there, when we changed it, it is 100th day now. I've confirmed that. So whatever was in there for 100th day will be available for your district test coordinators to go in on February 17th and go and view and validate and whatnot. They should work directly back with you. So if you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I didn't change those course codes, they're still in an elementary, that's okay. You can still make the changes and resubmit if you'd like. February 25th is the last pull, 5 p.m., and whatever is there, that determines March 2nd, and that's your order for your testing materials. Any questions about that process there? Patty?
When it was pulled on February 11th, did it wipe out what was there on January 8th, 28th?
I am assuming that it would be, because it would be a huge mess if it was between the two, but I'll confirm. Thank you. Can someone take a note on that?
Yeah,
thank you.
Can you have some type of date stamp on that so that we know what data actually is getting put in case we have to replace and resubmit? Just a date stamp on the TIDE data?
A date stamp that would show up perhaps in TIDE?
No, what I think.
Tell me what you mean.
Is we need just to clarify, I believe what she said is right. So TIDE will just show you what's in there currently.
Yes.
And that is effective of.
So that way we don't have that overlap again of like.
No, it overwrites.
And just any data that you just submitted is now showing that was.
Your data, if you change things, the reason they're showing this to you is so you can fix it. So as each of those dates go by, it overwrites the other.
I would assume so, yes. Otherwise, we'd have a mixed match and it would be crazy. Yes, ma'am?
Will the STC get ported to the Connect at some point?
that's a whole nother conversation. We have, the question was, will STC ever get imported into ADE Connect and whatnot? You want to talk about that, Mark, real quick?
STC is going away July 1st. It will not be something you have to do. Okay? Everything that you do on STC will be part of AZEDS, and we have it. Okay?
That was release 1.1.
So STC is gone. But we'll take care of it out of ADE Connect on July 1st.
Did that answer your question? Okay.
You can. Say it. Say it loud and clear, sister.
So do districts have to perform that final February 25th upload?
You don't have to do any of this. You know what I'm saying for this? This is a service that we're giving to you and capitalizing on what Mark has been saying for years now, that we really want to get the extra submissions that we're asking from you down. So why not capitalize on something that you're already doing that has that information? If you just want to go about your business and do 100th day STC, that's up to you. But just know that your district test coordinator will have to go manually and enter this information into the TIDE system to be able to get the testing materials. Now, there is a window. If we go back here, do you see these dates here? If you're computer-based, this is when the testing window is. Now look at this, March 2nd, right? Well, actually, let's go back to this, right? February 25th. So we've lessened the load of the manual that your district test coordinators, but we haven't given them the full bulk. Does that make sense of enrollments that have come? You've got kids that come and go on daily, hourly, minutely. Is that a word? You know, and so, but at least you have a big chunk of it already in the TIDE system, and you're helping your district test coordinators out by saying, okay, yes, you probably will. And I'll show you that, because one of the questions is, how does the TIDE system work? So I got a quick demo of that, and I can show you what that looks like. Ooh, lots of questions. Yay. That is fun.
For that February 25th date, do we use our 100-day students, or can we go right up to the 25th and add new students?
Perfect. So that question, and I think I have this on here somewhere. So, you know, you have your 40th, and when you're pulling data out of your student information system, your 40th consists of what data? Day 1 through 40, beautiful. And then your 100th day usually is what? 41 through 100, right? And that's when we were, excuse me, that's when we were just checking off the box as a group, right? We did 40, we did 100, we did end of year, right? Let's use this collection to our advantage. You can still pull, if you have, there's no sense in pulling another 100th day. So pull this one, let's say we've already done this one, right? February 11th. So if you have to make changes, pull the data from day 41 to, you know, let's say February 24th. Submit that data, count that as your 100th day, right? Don't go back and do another 100th day just to check the box and say it's 100th day. Use the data to your advantage and to the data submission that is required of us. Think of it as a spring submission, or the second out of 3 that we have to do. Does that make sense?
But we would do it from the
So Lori, I want to clarify this.
Yes, 41st. You would do it from the 41st to, let's say, February 24th. When you do your end of year, you would pull it from what? February 24th to the end of the year. And that's your end of year. Does that make sense?
Do we certify it?
Yes, you have to certify it. Because we're not taking STC data that's not to order your important testing materials on data that hasn't been certified. Mark, did you want to say something?
Don't get confused with this 100-day. This is really easy merit. We used what we already knew we collected, STC, to get you the right thing. Because you know the other way you were going to get it is, here's a spreadsheet, fill it out. And that would have killed you. So don't get confused with 100-day. This is a chance every time you look at it, you see errors, fix them, and then do another pull. because your changes have happened. That last day, like Lori said, February 24th, that you submit and certify, make sure it's clean as you can. That's updated. That way, your assessment coordinators aren't spending the next 2 weeks putting in thousands of entries. That will be a bummer. So we'll work with you though. But this is, the better you do this, so that's why it's very important you go look at error or tide to make sure that what you thought was in there is in there.
Yeah, and that's your district test coordinators that have access to TIDE. So you really are working interdepartmentally, that's a hard word to say, in your own organization. You know, you are the data. You're their source to make sure that they can do what they need to do. There's a question over here.
So what if there's a high turnover rate in your district? Because you accommodate, different areas that might have a high turnover, and your STC report won't accurately reflect who you'll be testing on the day the AZ merit test is released. Will you still be able to put together a spreadsheet and upload and,
Yes. Yeah, from what I understand, you can go in and make changes your district test coordinator can go in and make changes up into the last moment. So yes, so mobility, that's why it's so important that that last poll, which is the final poll to order your materials, that you have, let's say, pull from February 24th, which will capture all of those enrollments. If you have enrollments that happen after February 25th, 5 p.m., your district test coordinator will be able to go into the TIDE system manually and get yes. Well, no, there's actually, no, that's not true. There is, I actually went on the website last night, and I've got that. Yep, I'm going to show it to you. Yep. Yes, Kayla.
Is there a way for us as SIS managers and the DTCs to do a data comparison to make sure we have the same data?
You're saying do a reconciliation between what you have submitted and what is actually in the TIDE system?
Yes.
I think as it stands right now.
Hello.
I think as it stands right now, get that off me.
That's okay.
I think as it stands right now that only the district test coordinators have access into the TIDE. I will have to, that's another, thank you. We'll get clarification on that,
I could do a
Kayla.
spreadsheet from that or something that I could do a comparison on.
Like an export from TIDE? I don't know that answer, but I will find out, and we'll get it to the group. Yes?
You can export from TIDE into Excel or a CSV file.
Yes.
Is that what she's asking?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What else? Holy cow.
Can you get that down there?
Where it says SACE, does that mean our students would have to be uploaded or exited in the SACE system as of February 25th? So
Yes.
if they dropped out,
Yep.
we need to make sure we get those drops or if
Yep.
they add?
Yep. Yeah. I hadn't even got to that. Yeah.
So SACE data is being, your SACE uploads, make sure those are up to date too. By law, we're required to go every 20 days, right? But there's no saying that you can't go every 20 days. So the SACE data is where the grade level of these kiddos lives. The grade level of these kiddos does not live in STC, right? It doesn't, it's just a course code. We can't assume that Algebra 1 is all 9th graders. So your SACE data will be used for the testing materials for 3-8, those regular AZ merit assessment grade levels, and your STC will be for EOCs. What else? Anything else? Oh, Ralph?
Do you know what the last date is for having stuff go into TIDE?
Yeah, right here.
Have to be more exact.
February 25th.
No, I'm saying if we're going to do it manually,
If you're going to do it manually,
we're going to do it manually into TIDE, what is the last date to order testing materials?
I don't know that answer. But I've been told, I'm going to speculate, but we're going to confirm. Another note, please. We're going to confirm. The question was, if we want to do it manually, when is the last poll that we, or what's the last date that we can manually update? And from what I understand, you can do it up to the nth hour. Okay? But I got to confirm.
Lori, let's not say that.
Yeah, Lori.
People that are on paper, because they're going to do it labels.
It'll be on computer.
Yeah, if you're on computer, then you're good.
Okay.
But if you're on paper, then it's label issues, and it's just like the other tests you've been taking.
We may not have our total student population.
And I don't know that date
Until
offhand.
like mid-March, so we'll have it by mid-March. If we're good in doing that in the annual report.
Yeah, Eric, since they're delivering the test to you, it's directly interfaced. So, but the paper one is what we really should give you a date for, because there will be a drop date for paper.
That's, Lori,
Okay.
our testing coordinator was told that if you're manually uploading, not to expect your test materials on time.
Okay. So we will, we'll confirm.
Paper pencil test, we do the labels, don't we? They're not extracting labels, but I'm saying special test for hand bubbling.
I think I don't have all the right people in here.
Right. I asked.
My understanding.
Okay.
But if you give us the questions, we'll get an answer. We don't want to stop the questions, so let's get the questions on a piece of paper, and I'll bring it back to Irene Hunting and get you the real answer from Josh.
Just a follow-up question from before. So we're doing all online, our whole district. And I know we have lots of students come and go. So how early, from before March 30th is when the test starts, you said we can do the 9th hour. We're going to have students coming in the day before, and whatnot. Even during the test, we're going to have students come in. How do we upload? We'd upload to Tide, of course.
Yeah, that's the question that will have to get answered. That's all part of that.
That's a very detailed question, which
Yeah.
I need to get an answer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So-
part of the same.
Are there any materials that need to be ordered for the online testing, or is it just all online? It's all online, so we don't have to worry. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Hang on just a minute. Let me get back to you.
So we're having some problems, the same problems that we have with communications not being sent to the reporting people, and then the district test coordinators kind of panicking from the information that they're getting from the assessment section because they don't understand the reporting process. So there is a lot of confusion in that regard. And I think I've fielded multiple questions from testing coordinators that are trying to accomplish this on their own. So that piece of communication, if we could get maybe, I know we're supposed to work with our testing coordinators, but we all know that those go independently to the testing coordinators. If there could be a communication piece that is from the testing coordinator and the entity administrator or who's doing the SACE uploads, that would be helpful. And then I have another question. It sounds like, and I may be overgeneralizing, it sounds like the STC designation now is not so much based on reporting data, or that's going to be broadcast in any kind of dashboard if it's going away. So really it's just the vehicle for ordering testing at this point. If you have a different code that you have to change.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, until July 1st, STC data was used in your dashboard. Until July 1st. And so as you refresh it, that's where it goes. I don't send STC, I had to do STC because the federal government said they'd take $8 billion, whether they would or not, I don't know. We did it. And I know it was a pain in the butt ever for 3 years. But STC is incorporated into AZNs so that it's automatic out of your system. No longer do you have to do a separate poll. But until July 1st, we leveraged this platform for AZ Merit in order to make it easier for you. Because we realized that we had no time. I mean, we got awarded the contract in November. We're sitting here right now, and you guys should be really proud of yourselves. I should have always had AZ Merit, because then we'd have had STD done, STC done. But, STC done on time like this is unbelievable what you guys have accomplished for this test. But this is, this is really, it's two purposes. One for your dashboards. If you have teachers using them, then everything that you do to refresh this is always refreshed on your dashboards. If it's for this, what's the most important thing that's in this room? AZ Mary. All right, and that's where you get this thing done. And on July 1st, you guys don't have to do STC because it'll be pushed through AZS, which makes it easier. So I promised it to go away. It's going away. I'm going to kill it.
We have a question back here.
I just wanted to verify that the TIDE for the manual entry, I was told the other day that it's not open until March 5th to where you can manually enter in students, because I need to enter.
Right now it's read only. Yep, I did get that confirmation. As far as the
Exact date, I'll have to get that for you all. Can someone take that, please? Exact date on when it opens up?
I just wanted to find out, is there some kind of format or form or something that the SIS managers can get so that we can give the correct data that the district test coordinator needs for anything that happens after the February 25th date?
I have an idea for that, and I put it down here. Can I show you that? So the question was, how do I get the data to the district test coordinator to know what we even have in our system? And so we'll come back to this. Okay, so I know it's kind of small, but one of the things, I was trying to think about, okay, what do the STC peeps need to do to work with their district test coordinators? And it just seemed logical to me. It's not, it's just a suggested process. But, when the first communication came out that your course codes would for EOC testing would drive the testing materials, I started thinking, okay, so how are we going to suggest to them that, the SIS administrators or the STC submitters who but submit it, get to the district test coordinator. So what I thought is that perhaps, the state course catalog, I worked with the assessment department. They made all the mappings happen, not me. So they went through the Arizona State course catalog and said, okay, this course would be deemed necessary or mapped to an EOC course. This course, so on and so forth. So what I did was, based on their recommendation, I went into the Arizona State course catalog and I updated the course description, and it now says this course is mapped to end of course assessment, blah, 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 whatever it happens to be. So if you want, you can go to the Arizona State Department website, the STC, download the 912 PDF, Excel, whatever, and search for any courses, that have that assessment in there. So there's that. So the assessment coordinators should have access to that, right? They're the ones that really know the courses and should be making the decisions, depending on how your district or charter works. Then what you should do is pull a current 100 or whatever date range you want. I would do 41 through whatever that day is, run a report from your SIS, and you know how you got that course and you've got the student file, you've got the two files? Give that to them and let them take a peek at it, right? Here's the courses. You've got the course file, which is a lot cleaner. That would be the course mappings, right? It's the course, who the teacher is, what hour, section ID, whatnot. Open your file and look at it. And then the student one is all the kiddos that are inside that. Give that to them and let them go through that and make the decision for you. If there's changes, then you should make those changes in your SIS, re-extract and upload. That's how you have a surety between the two of you, district test coordinators or curriculum folks, and what you're reporting. That way you checks and balances each other, right? Make any changes, right? These changes should be available to you, so you can make the changes. Once you've received the final confirmation from the curriculum or assessment coordinator, go ahead and submit and certify a new 100th day or AZ Merit submission, whatever you want to call it, within SRM. And then that's how we're pulling from that data to upload into TIDE. And that's how you check and balance each other. That was just a suggested, I don't know, did anyone have a different process that you did that you want to share with anyone? You guys are the experts